Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to the Doors of Trithius with our squire, shall we? Alright, so we're just checking things out, looking across the map. As I'm moving across bigger spaces, I am using the left click to move if I've explored the area. You can tell where you've explored to because there'll be these darker tiles that show that they still haven't been uncovered, and so you might want to be more careful and just use the arrow keys to kind of meander over. And we've got this barrel to check out, a little bit of money. We can use money in town. Okay, here comes a baddie. It's a snake. So the snake is asleep. Now, you do have the choice of, just not waking it up if you want to walk past it and not fight it. It's a possibility. I don't really recommend this, but it's definitely something that you can do. All right, so let's go ahead and go on guard. And the reason I don't necessarily recommend sneaking by the snake in this case is we want to explore the whole map. Now, if it was in the corner and there was no reason to fight it, you might very well just leave it there because snake can poison you, and poison in this game is very difficult to deal with unless you have an antidote, and I do have some, but I don't want to use one just to kill one snake. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, I'm going to move up just a bit. Hopefully we don't wake this thing up. Okay, it's awake now. And I will then turn on tumbling because I really don't want to get hit by this snake. And then I could just slide into it, right? But instead what I'm going to do is just push the spacebar and wait. And then I'm going to hit it with shield bash. Okay, and we stun it. And then I'm going to duelist advance up toward it. All right, so now we're fighting it, and we are adjacent, but we're getting the benefit of tumbling, and on guard, and duelist advance. So we have like a huge chance to not be hit by this guy. Now, unfortunately, our energy is really low, and we killed it. And we got the meat. I'm going to turn off tumbling. So that was a lot of use of our abilities right there, but it was worth it to try to save an antidote potion, in my opinion. Alright, and we gotta click on the door. It is locked, and that's sad. Alright. Okay, let me look at the map. Just zooming out to look at the map, and honestly, I think that's it. I think we're done with the first floor, okay? So in that case, let's go ahead and go over here. Now we have the fountain that we can still drink from, which would help us heal our life if we were poisoned. But again, I don't want to get poisoned. Now we're hungry, so I'm going to eat a tomato, and we get the food buff, and let's go down. All right, new level. Moving over here just to check things out, and there is a centipede. So centipedes can bleed us. They're fast and they attack quickly. They're kind of hard to hit as well, but they can't poison us. So they can bleed us, which is annoying, and you'll have to use bandages to stop damage over time from that. So just being mindful that that's the case. I'm going to move. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to push spacebar and let it come toward me. And you see how fast it moves. And I'm going to duelist advance toward it. And it hit me, but it hit me for 0, mercifully. And we'll go ahead and shield bash it. And we killed it right away. All right, so very good. Now, keep in mind, though, shield bash is amazing, but it does have a large cooldown. So, you know, if I were to get into a fight now, wouldn't be able to use it. All right. I'm going to duelist advance to here. Now, look at that. The centipede got to attack twice right there. You saw the fast attack speed. But with the huge dodge chance, he missed us. and the fact that he did hit us for 0 because our protection with On Guard is so high that he just doesn't do enough damage to get through our initial level of protection armor. Now, also Duelist Advance is great because we're just more accurate. So we did miss a few times, but that you're going to have that anyway with centipedes just because they're so hard to hit. So we did win right there. It was rather rough, but we just took a little bit of damage. And here comes an iguana. Now, I'm low on energy. But that's okay. I'm just going to walk back and fight this iguana. He should follow me. No, maybe not. All right, cool. He didn't. So this will give us the opportunity to kind of just wait and just push spacebar for a few turns until you get, or until I get my energy back high enough so I can use some more abilities in combat. Remember, there's no rush. You're on a soft clock in the sense of food, but there really is a pretty decent amount of food. Such that you're not going to have to deal with satiety being a killer of you very often. You can also buy food in town. Okay, so let's see. This guy wants to tumble, and we'll do that. I'll just Duelist Advance to here, and then he'll move forward. He won't get a free attack on us. Try to shield bash him. He's stunned, and then over. So the Duelist Advance in that sequencing really only benefits us on one attack, so it might not be worth it, but in case they got to attack, like they were just a little bit faster and they got to attack as we moved in, we do get to dodge. Alright, more raw meat. Go up here. Okay, here comes the centipede. And let's see. I'm just going to pull the centipede back. I would like to get, if we could find one, we have arrows. Some kind of a bow would be cool. Ranged weapon that we could just mess around with. Alright, here it comes. So, I'm going to go ahead and... I'm actually going to Duelist Advance to right here. And wait. So we get one turn of dodge and accuracy. Hit the guy. Alright. And let's see. We actually put bleed on the centipede. I saw the bleed thing come up, but you can see the enemy status effects if they have any down here. So he's badly wounded and he's bleeding. So we could actually just, attack and, yeah, he dies anyway. Great. All right, we got a new crafting table here. So let's interact with it, and it's a workbench. Now, at a workbench, you can craft things. You can craft a torch, you can craft arrows, and you can craft bolts. And these are all things that you can craft, like, without training. But I don't have any scrap metals, okay? That you would have to get scrap metals by salvaging a piece of metal equipment from here, and you can actually even repair gear. Gear does suffer durability in this game. All right, but this is a cool room because... All right, here comes the snake and the rat. All right, fair enough. I'm going to... I'll just wait for the rat. All right. Now, I'm going to hit here. Okay, we killed it. And I'm going to Duelist Advance backward. All right, and I'm just going to push spacebar to wait. And then I'm going to shield bash him. And luckily we got him, no problem. All right, you can see our experience. We're almost level 2. And I'm going to just walk up here. We can get a carrot. This is a cool room because, let me finish my thought from before. There's so many boxes in here. You can actually loot these crates as well. Not the damaged ones, but just mouse over anytime that a hand appears, and the object that you're interacting with will also lighten up a bit. And we got some herbal tea. Herbal tea is very good because it has a 10% chance to remove a wound for 10 turns. And a wound is like anything like poison or bleed counts as a wound, some kind of negative status effect. And so it means like for 10 turns you get to roll, and you have a 10% chance to just get over something. All right, an unidentified potion. Remember, if we took the, I can't remember if it was a survivalist or what a skill gave this, but you can identify some basic potions immediately. We got a makeshift shield and some oil. Now, we already have a makeshift shield. So what we could do is go to the workbench and salvage the makeshift shield, okay? But unfortunately, it'll just give us wood. So it says we can salvage equipment. All the equipment that we have that's extra that we can salvage would be the makeshift shield, which would give us wood. Now, we can use wood to make an arrow, but we don't have any feathers and we don't have any scrap metal. Generally, in this first dungeon, the roadblock that I run into is finding feathers. So that just doesn't seem very likely. We could indeed try to make a torch if we wanted, but I'm not worried about it. Now, we could break this down, right, if we cared to. But also, we can keep the makeshift shield so that if our shield gets damaged, we can equip the makeshift shield as a backup. And that's kind of what I'm going to do. You can see our inventory weight. We're about at half encumbrance. We're fine. Okay. And, all right. Here comes a snake. He's awake. So I'm going to duelist advance to right here. And hit. Got it. I didn't even shield bash right there. It was ready, but, you know, because I hit it for so much and put bleed on, I figured we're going to win. Now, one thing I kind of like to do is just use left click to get to the doorway and then look around and then fine-tune my movement with the arrow keys from this position. So I'm going to just step back with duelist advance. Oh, I got hungry, which is a shame. Okay, we got crit and we got poisoned. So that's a very bad outcome, and that's a good example of why you want to try to kill those things fast and maybe even use shield bash. So I got a little lax, thought I could handle it, and it poisoned me right away, though. So let me go ahead. Oh, by the way, raw egg, raw meat. If you can eat this food if you're hungry, but you see it says has a chance to apply poison, like basically making you, get a stomach ache or whatever. But you don't want to ever get poison, so don't do that. So I'm going to eat. Okay, now wounds. It says right here, you've been wounded. Wounds are long-lasting status effects and appear on the bottom of the screen above your health. Right down here. You'll need to find or craft specific items to heal your wounds, such as bandages for bleeds or antidotes to cure poison. And the game does start you with some of those. And we did get up to 3 antidotes, searching all those crates and everything. But instead, I'm just going to try to be really lucky and drink my herbal tea. Okay? So I'm going to drink herbal tea. And by doing that, by the way, we just discovered the medicine skill. So that's an advantage of it. So if you go to your skills and discovered skills, you'll see that we have medicine here, which means we could, level it up if we chose to, well, when we level. Now, herbal tea, you can just kind of stand here and just push spacebar and just hope that it did it. Herbal tea heals your poison wound. So I like to do that if I can, to get rid of a poison instead of using antidote, because it's random. You don't know if it's going to work. But if you're free and there's no enemies around, why not? Alright. This guy woke up. So I'm going to duelist advance to here. Alright. And then I'm going to actually shield bash. I'm not going to mess around with this guy anymore. Bam. And we leveled up. You saw what happened when we got poisoned, so I don't think so. Now, when you level up, this little circle down on the bottom of the UI next to your experience or your wisdom bar will start to shimmer, meaning you've leveled up, and then the bar begins to fill up as we move toward the next wisdom level. Now, it says right here, leveling up, you've gained enough wisdom to reach a new level. Now, you need to sleep in a bed to acquire the level up. I'm going to pick up these arrows. You can just zoom out and then just click on the staircase like that. We'll go up. Now there's several beds that we found here. Pick whichever one you like. I'm going to click on this bed. And then notice that deep sleep is now available. Rest will only become available when you become weary or fatigued. And deep sleep, you enter it, and it just tells you kind of like a flavor text dream. And then it says, since your last stream, you gained 1 wisdom from using medicine and 12 wisdom from slaying monsters. So interestingly enough, not only did drinking the herbal tea help cure our poison, but it also gave us an experience point or a wisdom point. And then the rest of our experience we got from killing monsters. And so we got 1 skill point. So here, when you level up, you get 1 skill point that you can either put into an existing skill tree that you've got or unlock a new one, okay? So it's our choice what we want to unlock, okay? And these are both very good, medicine and cooking, right? Medicine helps us treat wounds during battle, and you get increased healing from medicine and new medicine recipes if you get this, which is quite strong, okay? And then there's cooking, which lets you make a better meal to give you buffs and such. So I think either one of these is fine. Cooking is perhaps a little bit easier for us to use, but you have to have the recipes. So let's go for survival, and I'm actually going to learn a new skill. Now, if I wanted to, I could just level up chivalry and then gain access to any skill within chivalry that said, hey, you need 6 chivalry to get that. I could level up survival or athletics, but I like having a lot because once we unlock medicine, then anytime we do medicine, we will be getting experience to level it up. So I'm going to go ahead and level it up, and I'm going to say continue. And the medicine skill has been unlocked. So if I go down into my masteries, okay, you can see that swords, we're building it up, blades, we're working on it, and then skills. Medicine, passively, each medicine level gives natural healing regeneration. So we get some just natural healing from it, and we can learn the recipe to turn cloth into bandages, okay, which is, really, really good. Or we can make a splint if we want to remove being crippled. Crippled, as it sounds, is horrible in this game. So these are just terrific. Also, you can get something like apply pressure, which is take no damage from bleed wounds while resting, which is really, really nice. And so this is a nice skill tree to have access to, okay? Whenever we drink like an antidote or use medicine, we will be leveling this up. So that's good. And we'll just keep an eye out for crafting stations and recipes so that we can make medicine or, just use medicine. Also, we got some extra health for leveling up there. All right. So where do we want to go? How about right down here? Okay, here's a rat coming at us. Now, a rat is not something I really care about, so I'm just going to, fight it straight up. Got it. Here's a snake. Because we rested, we turned off on guard. I'd like to have that on. All right, I'm going to duelist advance. The snake is still actually asleep, which is going to let us shield bash the guy. Oof. He didn't get stunned, and he was right there. It was kind of scary, but we made it. Okay, I'm going to go down here. And I'm not too worried about the centipede. I'm just going to push spacebar and fight this guy in this fashion. Got him. Just using regular attacks. All right, let's see here. All right, empty iguana. Okay. Iguana, we just push spacebar. We use shield bash. Walk up, hit him, got him. Another centipede. Hit, dead. Iguana, space, shield bash on the iguana. He didn't get stunned, but he's gone. Open up the barrel. Got a bunch of arrows. Very good. All right, sweet. Oh. That was my my fault. I didn't even see that guy. Sometimes with the way that the drawings are, with the wall, there's kind of a tile that is hard to see. Now the game makes the wall transparent when you're standing below it, so you can see through. But this Radis was kind of hiding in these vines and was hard to see. But you can use the highlight key to kind of check for enemies. All right, let me zoom out. This looks like we're actually done with this floor as well. I don't see anything left to loot. Remember, you can always tell by the open crate or the open barrel graphic if you've looted it or not. So we're good, and we're just going to click down here to go down to the next floor. We are hungry, though, so before I go down, let me just eat an onion and, you know, go down. All right. Now on this floor, if memory serves, you want to start being careful for traps. So you might want to move a little slower just to not step in them. Now here's a bunch of plants, okay? So you can try to harvest plants, but if you're not good at alchemy, there can be disastrous effects. So let me show you. I'll click on this. I'm sorry, botany. Alchemy is what you make from a lot of the stuff that you harvest, but botany reflects your skill with plants. Now, you can see that just by doing that, I gained the botany skill. Now, if I go again, it's like you failed to harvest, okay, that particular plant. And that's no problem. Just means you don't get anything. But sometimes, oh, great, we got a neurine, which we need to craft an antidote with medicine, okay? Sometimes you can have a critical failure, and it will poison you, all right? So it's really, really bad. But at the same time, right there, we just got poisoned, and that's a shame. But what I'm going to do is just harvest the rest of them, because in this case, if I were to get poisoned again, okay, we get 2 stacks of poison, 3 stacks of poison. All right. And if we apply an antidote, it takes care of all of our poison. So if you choose to harvest the plants, wait until you're done harvesting all of them and those poisons have triggered to use the antidote, because it will take care of all of your sickness. You don't have to harvest the plants if you don't want to risk it, or if you don't have any antidotes, I would not do it at all, because the chance of that explosion with the poison is actually quite high. All right, now we got a new enemy, which are null defenders. These guys are actually pretty tough. You see they're level 3. They want to bleed you, and they're immune to bleed and poison. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and duelist advance. And, oh, they're not moving. Oh, we're getting flanked. Ugh. Okay, well, you know what? This is a fun opportunity. We're just going to move. I'm going to move here. And I'm going to actually... I was going to jump, but I don't have enough energy because of on guard. So I'm actually going to take a bunch of hits here as I move to this point. I'm going to walk back. I only got hit a couple of times. Our protection is very, very good. So I walked us back all the way here so that these enemies would be at a choke point. I was going to be fine fighting in this doorway against one enemy, but when this guy came around the other side, it changed the dynamics of the battle. So I'm going to stand here and fight, and this way we only have to fight one at a time, provided nobody comes over from the right. Now, this guy has altered his stance a little bit, it looks like. Okay. They bled us, all right? So you can see right now we're bleeding. But again, we're not going to do anything about that until we're done, because we don't want to use a bandage and then get bled again. It's just less than ideal. So we're going to try to fight them. And I'm not going to be using Shield Bash just yet, or Duelist Advance. And the reason is I want to save up enough energy to keep On Guard up, because honestly, it's mitigating the amount of damage that we're taking significantly. Now I can use Shield Bash, stun the guy, and we finish them all off. Okay. Now, you'll see here that we've been bleeding, okay? But it has a 25% chance to deal 1 damage every turn, and it has a small chance to remove itself, okay? But you can use a bandage to heal it immediately. Now, unlike poison, bleeding can just kind of like fade away. So if I want to, I could like try to eat through it and just stand here for a little bit and recover, and maybe it goes away. Now, if I want to get rid of it immediately, I can just use my bandage. So we were able to gather some neurine and some stinkhorn from these plants, and we got some null clay as well from them. And I'm going to go over to my skills panel and show you medicine has gone up by 12, okay? Just doing things medicine related. Sometimes you want to just maybe every once in a while when you take an action, just see what gave you the experience so you can see how to train something perhaps. Okay, so I'm going to walk over here and I'm still bleeding, which is a shame. And so I am going to use a bandage. I could just wait forever to try and see if the bleed would go away, but I want to be able to restore my health. And I'm going to eat some bread. And bread is amazing, 50 turns of a lot of health recovery. And I'm just going to open the door now. Here's a fountain, okay? So remember, always save those fountains for emergency healing. All right, here comes the bad boy Null Defender. I'm going to duelist advance to here. Got him. Bronze ring. Nice. So the bronze ring, it doesn't really do anything. You can equip it, all right, just to bling yourself out. But what's nice is you can sell it. And we found a library. Okay. So, as you play the game, you'll notice that there are some obligatory rooms that you'll discover. This is one of them. The library has books, okay? Bug Infestation, Machine Hunter Part 2. You just search all of these and... Oh, we found some parchment. We found Crystal Harvesting, which is a lore book, okay? And Silver Necklace, all right? So all of these, you can, if you mouse over the book, it'll tell you it requires 5 reading. It requires 7 reading. And if you read these, they give you experience, but you have to have that reading level to get there, all right? So I'm going to put on this necklace. It doesn't do anything. It's just cool. Stuns and immobilizes. A status effect is preventing you from moving. Oh, I must have been bled. Oh, I stepped into a bear trap. I didn't even see that. Yep. Okay, so we got hit by a bear trap when we went over to this bookshelf. And, you know, we don't detect traps super well, so we didn't see it. We stepped in it and we got bled. And we're bleeding with, you know, severity, but after 10 turns it'll go down and just be a regular bleed. So I am going to use a bandage to get rid of this, but be sad about it. And medicine leveled up though when we applied the bandage. So just using the bandage is what leveled up our medicine, and we can go to the study bench and we can, you know, use our knowledge to unlock bonuses, or we can, you know, try to read this. This would give us world lore and reading experience if we read this book. And then world lore, okay, is something that you can use as a resource in the knowledge tree to, you know, unlock something like Woodland Strider, okay? So reading is really cool, right? You need to read certain books to get the type of knowledge that will let you unlock these bonuses. But, you know, we discovered the reading skill by going to this workbench. But we don't have any skill in it right now, so it's not something that we can do. All right. And here we are. I'm going to zoom out and just show you we're on level 3. All right. We found some botanical gardens. We have found the library, a study bench. We got hit by a trap. We're fighting new enemies. We've leveled up. And we're rocking and rolling with this character. We have plenty of food. We're doing okay. After just waiting a bit, we'll restore our energy and our health, and we'll be able to continue exploring this floor. It's getting a little bit more challenging, but as long as you don't overuse your bandages and antidotes, try to save them, try to fight smart to avoid enemies that put those wounds on you, you'll be doing fine. Everyone, I hope you're still finding this series to be helpful. We'll leave it off for here, pick up next time with this character, continuing to explore the starter dungeon and get stronger. Take care.